August 12th, 2022. I picked up a pen, opened a composition notebook, and wrote down 3 things: the exercise, the weight, and the reps. That was it. No app, no tracker, no gym membership, just a barbell, 2 plates, and a notebook. I had a 15-pound plate and a 35-pound plate. That's not a typo. That was my entire setup. What I built from that starting point, physically and financially, in the 3 years that followed, is what this channel is about. Not theory, not advice from someone who read about it. Data from someone who lived it. Stay with me. Here's the principle that governed everything I did, and still does. Don't invest in the next level until you've proven you belong there. Most people do the opposite. They buy the full gym setup before they've shown up consistently for a month. They max fund a brokerage account before they understand what they're buying. They invest in the outcome before they've earned the process. I refuse to do that. When I started, I had a barbell and 2 plates. That's roughly 85 pounds of total possible weight. Not exactly a powerlifting setup. But here's what I had that most people don't: a constraint. And constraints force creativity. Landmine exercises became my foundation. One end of the barbell anchored in a corner, the other end loaded and moved through space. You can hit nearly every muscle group with a landmine setup if you know what you're doing, and I learned what I was doing. For months, I showed up. I logged every session by hand, and I asked myself one question every single week: am I still making progress? The answer was yes, which meant it was working, which meant the system deserved more investment. That principle didn't just build my home gym, it built my portfolio, and it's the reason both are still standing today. Let me walk you through exactly how the gym grew, because the sequence matters. Phase 1, the barbell era. Starting with just the barbell and those 2 plates, I had to get creative. Landmine variations, presses, rows, squats, Romanian deadlifts, lateral raises became the backbone of every session. I wasn't optimizing, I was surviving, showing up, writing things down. Months passed. The notebook filled up. The weights on the bar stopped feeling heavy. Progress was real and documented. That was the signal. Time to invest. Phase 2, the bench and dumbbells. A bench and a set of adjustable dumbbells changed everything. Exercise selection doubled overnight. Upper body work became more precise. I could isolate, I could vary, I could progress in smaller increments. But here's what actually mattered. I'd already proven I could be consistent before spending the money. The equipment wasn't a motivational purchase. It was a reward for a system that had already proven itself. More months passed. More sessions logged. Progress continued. Phase 3, the squat rack. The squat rack with cables was the final piece, and the biggest investment. It opened up exercise selection exponentially. Squats, pull-downs, cable rows, chest flies, tricep push-downs. The full picture. This is also when I downloaded the fitness tracker app and the data got serious. Nearly 800 sessions. Every one of them logged. Weight, sets, reps, notes. 3 years of data that tells a story no before and after photo can. The bench press went from something I had to work up to 200 pounds. The squat climbed to 295. The body changed because the system was sound, and the data kept me honest. Now here's where it gets interesting. The same month I started that composition notebook, August 2022, I started paying serious attention to my finances for the first time. Not coincidence, same mindset shift, same discipline awakening, 2 domains, 1 operating system, and I applied the exact same principle. Start lean, prove the system, then invest to scale. Phase 1, the barbell. The financial equivalent of those 2 plates was S&P 500 index funds. Simple, cheap, proven. I learned before I deployed capital what dollar cost averaging actually does, why compounding requires time, why consistency of inputs beats timing the market every single time. I showed up every week regardless of what the market was doing. Same as the gym. Phase 2, the bench and dumbbells. When a job offered a 401k, I shifted focus there. Automated, pre-tax. Seemed like the right move. But I did what I always do. I ran the data, and the data revealed problems, limited investment options, plan fees quietly consuming a significant portion of returns every quarter, capital locked until retirement age, and under Secure 2.0, required minimum distributions, eventually forcing liquidation, whether I wanted it or not. So I made a decision most people don't make. I stopped personal contributions and redirected that weekly capital to a personal taxable brokerage instead. The employer still contributed regardless, but my capital went where I controlled it. That's not a move I'd prescribe to anyone else. It's a move I made based on my specific numbers and my specific goals. But it illustrates the principle. The system has to be examined, not just followed. Phase 3, tuition. Here's where I paid for my education. Chasing higher yield, I moved into a category of covered call funds built on zero-day options, the Defiance ODTE funds. Then into Yield Max. The headline yields looked extraordinary. Double digits, monthly income. The math seemed to work. It didn't. I watched the underlying value of those positions erode. Every distribution that looked like income was partially just getting my own money back, at a lower share price each time. I sold S&P and NASDAQ positions at a loss-chasing yield I never actually captured. That was tuition. I paid it. And it's the reason everything that came after is built on a different foundation. Phase 4, the squat rack. The current system isn't something I read about. It's something I arrived at through failure and correction. The same way the squat rack only made sense after months of proving the barbell worked. The details of that system, the specific funds, the weekly rotation mechanic, the tax architecture underneath it, that's a full video on its own. What matters here is the arc. Index funds first. Learn the basics, then a 401k detour that taught me what I didn't want. Then a tuition phase in high-yield products that taught me what to avoid. Then a deliberate income floor strategy built on NAV stability, monthly distributions, and compounding reinvestment. Same 3 phases as the gym. Different tools, identical system. The parallel isn't accidental, it's structural. The same brain that learned to build a body from almost nothing is building a portfolio from almost nothing. The tools are different. The system is identical. People ask me why I started logging by hand in a notebook when apps existed. The real answer, I didn't trust myself yet. Writing something down by hand is a commitment that tapping a screen isn't. It's slower. It's deliberate. It forces you to actually think about what you just did and whether it deserves to be recorded. That notebook wasn't a tracking tool, it was a contract with myself. Every entry was evidence that I showed up. Every page I filled was proof that the system was real. 3 years later, that habit lives in an app with 800 sessions behind it. But the app didn't build the habit, the notebook did. And here's the financial version of that same truth. The first time I manually tracked my net worth in a spreadsheet, not a fancy app, just a spreadsheet, was when money started feeling real to me. When the numbers stopped being abstract and started being accountable. You can't automate discipline. You can only automate the maintenance of a discipline that already exists. The systems I run today, the automated DCA, the drip reinvestment, the workout tracker, those are the squat rack. The notebook and the spreadsheet were the barbell. You need the barbell first. So here's what I want you to take from this. 1. Start with what you have. The constraint is the point. 2. Prove consistency before you invest in the next level. 3. Log everything. Data is the only honest mirror. That's how the gym got built. That's how the portfolio is getting built. That's what this channel is built on. If you're starting from zero, a barbell and a notebook, that's not a disadvantage. That's the origin story of everything that compounds. The next video breaks down the full income system, how it's structured, why it's built the way it is, and what the projected income timeline looks like at current contribution rates. The complete picture. Numbers, not theory. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you're somewhere in that progression right now, phase 1, phase 2, or figuring out where to start, drop a comment. Tell me where you are. I read every one. I'm built and bankrolled. Let's get to work.